Captain Jake Morrison stood on the bridge of his ship, watching the stars through the main window. The horizon's edge had been flying through space for 3 months now, looking for new worlds that humans could live on. Jake was a tall man with gray hair and tired eyes. He had been exploring space for 20 years. "Captain, we are getting strange signals from that star system ahead," said Lisa Grant, his science officer. She was a smart woman who had studied alien life for most of her adult life. Lisa pointed at her computer screen, which showed bright lines moving up and down. "What kind of signals?" Jake asked as he walked over to look at the screen. "They are not natural, sir. Someone is making these signals." "Someone smart," Lisa said. Her voice was excited but also worried. Ryan Torres, the weapons officer, looked up from his station. He was a young man with dark hair who had joined the crew only 6 months ago. "Should I get our weapons ready, Captain?" "Not yet, Ryan. Let's see what we are dealing with first," Jake said. He had learned to be careful during his years in space. Too many captains had died because they were too quick to fight or too quick to trust. The ship moved closer to the star system. Amy Phillips, who handled all radio messages, suddenly jumped in her chair. "Captain, someone is trying to talk to us." "Put it on the main screen," Jake ordered. The front window changed to show a creature that made everyone on the bridge take a step back. It was huge, like a giant bug that walked on 2 legs. Its skin was black and shiny, and it had 4 arms. Each arm ended in sharp claws. Its head was long with big teeth that looked like knives. 2 red eyes stared at them through the screen. "I am War Prime Kethavar of the Great Zarthak Empire," the creature said. Its voice was deep and scary. "You are in our space now. You will do what we say or we will kill you all." Jake tried to stay calm. He had met other alien races before, but none had been this threatening right away. "I am Captain Jake Morrison of the human ship Horizon's Edge. We come in peace. We only want to talk." The alien laughed, and the sound made everyone on the bridge feel cold. "Peace? You small, weak creatures think you can talk to the Alpha? We are the strongest beings in this part of space. We have ruled here for 3,000 years. Alpha?" Lisa asked quietly. "Yes, we are Alpha. We are the best. We are the strongest. All other races serve us or die. There is no other choice," Kethavar said. His red eyes seemed to look right through the screen at each person on the bridge. Jake felt his heart beating fast, but he kept his voice steady. "We don't want to fight. We can share this space. There is room for everyone." "Wrong," the alien said. "Space belongs to the strong. You are weak. Look at your tiny ship. Look at your soft bodies. You cannot even grow proper claws or teeth. How did such weak things ever learn to fly between stars?" Ryan's hand moved toward his weapon controls, but Jake shook his head. Their ship only had basic weapons meant for protecting against space rocks and small pirates. "This alien ship was 10 times bigger than theirs. We may look weak, but humans are smarter than we look," Jake said. Kethavar laughed again. "Smart. We have destroyed 17 different races. All of them thought they were smart too. Some had better weapons than you. Some had bigger ships. All of them are gone now. Dead or working as our slaves." Lisa made a small sound of fear. 17 races destroyed. That meant billions of lives lost. "You have 1 day to decide," the alien continued. "Come to our main world and kneel before us. Agree to be our slaves, or we will hunt you down and kill every human in space. This is how it always goes. This is the Alpha way." The screen went black. For a moment, no one on the bridge said anything. Finally, Amy spoke up. "Captain, I'm reading big ships coming toward us." "Really big ships? How many?" Jake asked. 5? Oh wait, 10. "They are huge, Captain. Each one is bigger than a space station." "Get us out of here now," Jake ordered. Ryan started the engines, and the Horizon's Edge began to move away from the alien ships as fast as it could go. But Jake could see on the radar that the alien ships were much faster. "They are catching up," Ryan said. "Jump to hyperspace," Jake ordered. "But Captain, we don't know if it's safe to jump from here," Lisa said. "It's not safe to stay either," Jake replied. The ship made the jump, and stars became long lines of light as they traveled faster than light speed. When they stopped, they were far away from the alien ships. "Did we lose them?" Jake asked. Amy checked her instruments.
"Yes, sir."
"But Captain, I think they put something on our ship when we were talking to them." "What kind of something?" "A tracker, sir. A small device that will tell them where we go." Jake felt his stomach drop. "Can we remove it?" "I don't think so, sir. It's attached to our main computer somehow. If we try to remove it, it might destroy our whole ship." Jake sat down in his captain's chair and thought hard. The aliens now knew where humans lived. They had bigger ships, better weapons, and they had already destroyed 17 other races. Worst of all, they seemed to enjoy killing. Set course for Earth, he finally said. Maximum speed. What will we tell them when we get there? Lisa asked the truth. That something calling itself Alpha is coming to destroy us, and we need to get ready for the biggest fight in human history. As the horizon's edge flew toward Earth, Jake looked out at the stars and wondered if any of them had once been home to the 17 races that the Zarthak had destroyed. Soon, he thought, human worlds might be just as empty and dark. But humans had one thing that maybe those other races didn't have. Humans never gave up even when things looked impossible. Jake just hoped that would be enough. 6 months had passed since Captain Jake Morrison brought the terrible news back to Earth. The human government had worked day and night to get ready for war. They built new ships, made better weapons, and moved people from the outer planets to safer places. But everyone knew it would not be enough. Admiral Kate Sullivan stood in the command center of the Resolute, the biggest warship humans had ever built. She was a woman in her 50s with short brown hair and eyes that had seen too many battles. Through the main window, she could see dozens of human ships waiting in formation around Earth. "Admiral, we have movement at the edge of the solar system," said her communication officer, a young man named Pete Jackson. Kate felt her heart start beating faster. "How many ships?" "We can't count them all, ma'am." "There are too many, but the biggest one is, Admiral, it's the size of a small moon." Kate had known this day would come, but she still felt fear run through her body. "Send the warning to all human worlds. Tell them the invasion has started." Across human space, 12 different star systems saw the same terrible sight at the same time. Huge black ships appeared out of nowhere, ships so big they blocked out the sun on the planets below. The Zarthak had come to make humans extinct. On the planet Vega Prime, 3,000 people lived in a mining colony. They were simple people who dug metals out of the ground and sent them back to Earth. When the alien ships appeared in their sky, the colony leader sent out a message asking the aliens to talk. War Prime Kethvar himself answered from his flagship. His red eyes filled the communication screen in the colony's main building. "You had your chance to surrender. You chose to fight. Now you will learn what happens to those who refuse to kneel before the Alpha. Please, we are just miners. We have no weapons. We have children here," the colony leader begged. "That is not my problem," Kethvar said. Then he gave an order to his ships. The colony was turned to dust in less than 5 minutes. 3,000 people died without even having a chance to run. The alien ships recorded everything and sent the video to every human world. Dr. Nathan Cole watched the terrible video from his laboratory on Mars. He was a thin man with thick glasses who had spent his whole life studying how things worked. When he saw what the aliens had done to Vega Prime, he felt sick to his stomach. But he also felt angry. "We need to find a way to fight back," he said to his assistant, a young woman named Helen Park. "How can we fight them?" "Their ships are huge and their weapons are so powerful," Helen said. "Every machine has weaknesses. We just need to find theirs," Nathan replied. He had been studying the broken pieces of alien ships that human fighters had brought back. The aliens used something called antimatter to power their weapons and shields. It was very powerful, but Nathan thought it might also be dangerous to the aliens themselves. Meanwhile, on the farming planet of New Kansas, Lieutenant Colonel Beth Carter was getting ready for a ground fight. She was a tough woman who had been a soldier for 15 years. Her job was to protect the people on New Kansas if the aliens tried to land there. "How many soldiers do we have?" she asked her second-in-command, Major Steve Adams. 2,000, ma'am, but the aliens have weapons that can kill from space. I don't know what we can do against them." "We do what soldiers always do," Beth said. "We fight with what we have and we don't give up." The alien ships came to New Kansas 2 days later. Beth watched from her underground command post as the huge ships landed in the fields outside the main city. Thousands of Zarthak soldiers came out of the ships. They were even more frightening in person than on the video screens. Each one was 8 feet tall with black armor that covered their bug-like bodies. But Beth noticed something important. The aliens always moved in the same patterns. They always attacked from the same angles. They seemed to think that their better weapons would make them win, so they didn't need to be creative or smart about how they fought. "Steve, get on the radio to all our units," Beth said. "Tell them not to fight the aliens the normal way. We need to be tricky. Hit them and run away. Hide and attack when they don't expect it." Back in space, Admiral Kate Sullivan was fighting the biggest space battle in human history. Her ships were fast and her crews were brave, but the alien ships were just too powerful. Human ships were being destroyed faster than they could fight back. "Admiral, we have lost 30 ships in the last hour," Pete Jackson reported. Kate watched another human ship explode on her screen. "How long until the aliens reach Earth?" "At their current speed, 18 hours. President Oliver Hayes appeared on Kate's communication screen. He was an old man who looked tired and scared. "Admiral, the alien leader wants to talk to us. He says we have one more chance to surrender." "Put him through," Kate said. War Prime Kethvar's ugly face filled the screen. Behind him, Kate could see other aliens celebrating their easy victories. "Humans, you have seen what we can do. Your ships are weak. Your weapons are toys. Surrender now and some of you may live as our slaves." Kate stared at the alien leader with hate in her eyes. "We have a message for you too. Humans don't surrender. Ever." Kethvar laughed. "Then you will all die. Just like the other 17 races that thought they were special. In 24 hours, every human world will be empty. You will be extinct and no one will remember you ever existed." The screen went black. Kate turned to her crew. "Send a message to all human ships and planets. Tell them we will fight until the end. Tell them that even if we lose, we will make the aliens remember that humans were here." But even as she said the brave words, Kate wondered if any humans would be alive tomorrow to remember anything at all. Dr. Nathan Cole had not slept in 3 days. He sat in his laboratory on Mars, surrounded by pieces of broken alien technology and empty coffee cups. His eyes were red from staring at computer screens. But he had finally found what he was looking for. "Helen, come look at this," he called to his assistant. Helen Park hurried over to see what Nathan had discovered. She was exhausted too, but the fear of dying kept her awake. "What did you find?" "The alien's power source. It's antimatter like we thought. But look at this." Nathan pointed to his computer screen. "The way they control it is very complex. If we could make their computers confused, their antimatter containers would break open. What would happen then? Their ships would blow up from the inside. All of them." Helen's eyes went wide. "How can we confuse their computers?" Nathan smiled for the first time in months. "We send them a virus through their communication system. But we need someone to get close enough to their main ship to upload it." Meanwhile, Captain Jake Morrison was preparing for what everyone knew would be a suicide mission. He now commanded a new ship called the Ghostwalker that was built to be invisible to alien sensors. It was small and fast, but it had almost no weapons. "Captain, are you sure about this?" asked Lucas Dean, his pilot. Lucas was a brave man who had flown dangerous missions before, but this was different. They would be flying right into the middle of the alien fleet. "It's the only chance we have," Jake said. "If Dr. Cole's virus works, we can destroy their whole fleet at once." Chloe Martinez, the ship's computer expert, checked her equipment one more time. She was the one who would upload the virus into the alien computers. "I've never hacked alien systems before. I hope this works." "It has to work," Jake said simply. While Jake's team prepared their mission, Lieutenant Colonel Beth Carter was showing the aliens on New Kansas that humans could be very dangerous when they had to be. Her soldiers had been attacking alien patrols for 2 weeks, always hitting them when they didn't expect it. The Zarthak soldiers were getting frustrated. They were used to easy victories against enemies who fought in straight lines. But Beth's soldiers were like ghosts. They would attack an alien patrol, kill several aliens, and then disappear before the aliens could fight back. "Major Adams, how many aliens have we killed so far?" Beth asked. "Over 300, ma'am. And we've only lost 20 of our own soldiers." Beth nodded. "The aliens had better weapons and stronger bodies, but they fought in predictable ways. They always expected their enemies to attack from the front. They never thought to look behind them or above them." "Send a message to all the other human worlds," Beth said. "Tell them how we're fighting. Tell them it works." Back in his laboratory, Dr. Nathan Cole made another amazing discovery. He had been trying to understand how alien computers worked, and he found something incredible. "Helen, look at this brain scan," he said, pointing to a picture on his screen. "That's a human brain," Helen said. "Right, now look at this." Nathan showed her another picture. "This is how the alien computers are built. See the difference?" Helen stared at both pictures. "The human brain has patterns that the alien computers don't have." "Exactly. Human brains work in ways that alien computers can't understand. That means humans can think of things that their computers can't predict." This discovery was sent to every human ship and planet. Soon, human soldiers and pilots were using their strange human thinking to confuse alien weapon systems. They would fly their ships in patterns that made no sense to alien computers. They would attack in ways that alien programs couldn't figure out. Admiral Kate Sullivan used this new knowledge to plan a surprise attack on the alien fleet near Earth. Instead of fighting the aliens in the normal way, she ordered her ships to move in random, crazy patterns. "Admiral, the alien ships are having trouble targeting us," reported her weapons officer, Commander Tony Walsh. "Their computers can't figure out what we're going to do next," Kate said with a smile. "Keep moving randomly. Don't let them predict anything." For the first time since the invasion started, human ships were winning battles. The aliens were confused and angry. They had never fought an enemy that didn't follow logical patterns. War Prime Kethavar watched the battles from his huge flagship and could not understand what was happening. "How are these weak creatures defeating our superior technology?" "They fight without logic, War Prime," said his second-in-command. "Our computers cannot calculate their next moves. Then we will use more power. Destroy everything. Leave nothing alive." But even as Kethavar gave orders to increase the attacks, Captain Jake Morrison and his team were getting closer to the alien flagship. The Ghostwalker moved slowly through the alien fleet, invisible to their sensors. "We're almost there," Lucas whispered, as if speaking too loudly might give them away. Jake could see the huge alien ship ahead of them. It was bigger than anything humans had ever built. "Chloe, is the virus ready?" "Yes, sir. As soon as we connect to their system, I can upload it." "Remember, we probably won't make it out of here alive," Jake said. "But if this works, we'll save every human in the galaxy." The Ghostwalker came alongside the alien flagship. Chloe connected her computer to the alien ship's communication system. For a moment, nothing happened. Then her screen lit up with alien symbols. "I'm in," she said. "Uploading the virus now." Deep inside the alien flagship, Dr. Nathan Cole's virus began to spread through the Zarthak computer network. It moved from ship to ship, confusing every system it touched. The antimatter containers that powered the alien ships began to shake and crack. War Prime Kethavar felt his ship shaking and called to his engineers. "What is happening?" "Our power systems are failing, War Prime. We cannot stop it." Kethavar's red eyes went wide with fear as he realized what was about to happen. The weak humans had found a way to turn the Zarthak's greatest strength against them. All across human space, alien ships began to explode. War Prime Kethavar watched in horror as his mighty fleet began to die around him. Through the windows of his flagship, he could see alien ships exploding one after another. Each explosion lit up space like a new star being born. But these stars meant death for the Zarthak Empire. How is this possible? Kethavar screamed at his engineers. "We are the Alpha. We are supposed to be the strongest." His chief engineer, a smaller Zarthak named Veltar, looked at his broken instruments with fear in his eyes. "War Prime, the humans have done something to our computers. Our antimatter containers are failing everywhere." Captain Jake Morrison watched from the Ghostwalker as the virus spread faster than anyone had hoped. The small human ship was still attached to the alien flagship, and through his window Jake could see panic on the alien bridge. "Chloe, how long until their ship explodes?" he asked. "Maybe 2 minutes, Captain. We should leave now." "Not yet. I want to see this." Lucas Dean, the pilot, was ready to fly them away from the dying alien ship. "Captain, if we wait too long, we'll die too." Jake knew Lucas was right, but he wanted to watch the alien leader realize that he had been defeated by the weak humans he had planned to make extinct. After a moment, Jake nodded. "Get us out of here." The Ghostwalker pulled away from the flagship just as its antimatter containers began to crack. The huge ship that had seemed so powerful just hours before was now shaking apart from the inside. All across human space, the same thing was happening. Admiral Kate Sullivan watched from the bridge of the Resolute as alien dreadnoughts exploded in bright flashes of light. Ships that had been bigger than cities were now just clouds of metal and gas floating in space. "Admiral, we're getting reports from all human worlds," said Pete Jackson, her communication officer. "The alien fleets are being destroyed everywhere." Kate felt relief flow through her body like warm water. For months she had been sure that humanity was going to die. Now in less than 6 hours the impossible had happened. The aliens who called themselves Alpha were losing, but Dr. Nathan Cole's virus did more than just destroy alien ships. As it spread through the Zarthak communication network, it also downloaded all of their information. Suddenly, humans knew the location of every alien base, every conquered world, and every enslaved species in the galaxy. "Helen, look at this," Nathan said to his assistant as data flooded his computer screens. "The aliens have 17 different species working as slaves. And we now know where all of them are." President Oliver Hayes called an emergency meeting of all human military leaders. The old man who had looked so tired and scared just days before now seemed 10 years younger. "We have a choice to make," he said to the group of admirals and generals gathered around the table. "We can celebrate our victory and go home, or we can use this information to free every species the aliens have enslaved." Admiral Sullivan spoke first. "Sir, our ships are damaged and our crews are tired. But if we don't act now, those enslaved species might never get another chance at freedom." General Paul Henderson, who commanded human ground forces, agreed. "The aliens are confused and scared right now. This is the perfect time to hit all their bases at once." Within hours, human fleets that had been fighting for their own survival were now flying across the galaxy to liberate worlds they had never seen. The virus had not only saved humanity, it had given them the power to destroy the entire Zarthak Empire. On the waterworld of Aquatica, the fish-like Meltar species had been slaves to the Zarthak for over 1,000 years. They worked in underwater factories, making weapons for their alien masters. When human ships appeared in their sky, many Meltar thought it was just another conqueror come to replace the Zarthak. But the humans came with a different message. Commander Sarah Brooks, leading the Liberation Fleet, spoke to the Meltar in their own language using translation software the virus had stolen from alien computers. "We are humans. We have defeated the Zarthak. You are free now. We want to give you weapons so you can fight for your own world." The Meltar could not believe what they were hearing. For 1,000 years they had dreamed of freedom. Now strange creatures from across the galaxy were offering to help them fight their oppressors. On the crystal world of Gemina, the rock-like Vectari had a similar experience. They had been forced to mine precious stones for the Zarthak for 1,500 years. When human ships arrived and destroyed the alien guards, the Vectari thought they were dreaming. Colonel Beth Carter, who had been fighting aliens on New Kansas just weeks before, now found herself leading an army of liberated aliens toward the Zarthak homeworld of Karveth. "How does it feel to finally fight back?" she asked Morgan, a Meltar warrior who had joined her forces. "Like breathing air after drowning for 1,000 years?" Morgan replied through his translator device. The battle for Karveth was unlike anything anyone had ever seen. Humans fought alongside fish people, crystal beings, and dozens of other species that the Zarthak had enslaved. The alien homeworld, which had never been attacked in 3,000 years, was suddenly surrounded by hundreds of ships filled with very angry former slaves. War Prime Kethvar had survived the destruction of his flagship by escaping in a small ship. Now he stood in the capital city of his homeworld, watching the sky fill with enemy vessels. "This cannot be happening," he said to himself. "We are Alpha. We are supposed to rule the galaxy." But his old second-in-command, Veltar, pointed to the burning buildings around them. "War Prime, maybe we were never as strong as we thought. Maybe we only seemed strong because we attacked those who were weaker." General Henderson led the final assault on the Zarthak capital city. The aliens who had seemed so frightening when they first appeared at Earth now looked small and scared as human soldiers and liberated aliens surrounded them. "Surrender now, and you will be treated fairly," Henderson announced through loudspeakers. "Continue fighting and you will be destroyed completely." Many Zarthak threw down their weapons. Others tried to fight to the end, but they were outnumbered 1,000 to 1. The empire that had dominated the galaxy for 3,000 years fell in 3 weeks. War Prime Kethvar was captured trying to escape in a hidden ship. As human soldiers put him in chains, he looked at them with confusion in his red eyes. "How did you weak creatures defeat us?" he asked. Jake Morrison, who had been promoted to admiral after his successful virus mission, looked down at the alien leader. "You called us weak, but you never understood what made us strong. You had better weapons, but we had better ideas. You were predictable, but we could adapt. Most importantly, you fought only for conquest, but we fought for survival." Kethvar said nothing more. The Alpha had finally learned what it felt like to lose. The war was over, but the real work was just beginning. Admiral Jake Morrison stood in what used to be War Prime Kethvar's throne room on the planet Karveth. The massive chair where the alien leader had once planned the destruction of 17 species was now broken into pieces. Through the tall windows, Jake could see human and alien ships working together to clean up the damage from the final battle. "Admiral, we have finished counting the Zarthak survivors," reported Colonel Beth Carter. She looked different now than when she had been fighting aliens on New Kansas. The constant fear was gone from her eyes, replaced by something that looked like hope. "How many?" Jake asked. "About 50,000 on this world, maybe twice that on other planets. Most of their military is dead. The ones who are left are mostly civilians who never fought in the war." Jake nodded. It was a strange feeling to have complete power over the beings who had once planned to make humans extinct. But Jake remembered something his father had told him when he was young. "How you treat your enemies after you win tells the world who you really are, Dr. Nathan." Cole was working with teams of scientists from a dozen different species to understand all the technology the Zarthak had left behind. The aliens had collected knowledge from every race they had conquered, storing it all in massive computer banks. "Jake, you need to see this," Nathan said when the Admiral visited his new laboratory. The scientist looked excited but also sad. "We found detailed records of all 17 species the Zarthak destroyed. Their art, their music, their science, everything. Can we bring any of them back? No, they're gone forever. But we can make sure they're remembered. We can build monuments to them. We can teach their stories to our children." Jake felt a heavy weight in his chest. 17 entire civilizations. Billions of individual lives all wiped out because they had met the wrong aliens at the wrong time. "Make sure we do that, Nathan. Make sure the galaxy never forgets what the Zarthak did." Meanwhile, President Oliver Hayes was working with leaders from all the liberated species to create a new government for the galaxy. The meeting was held on Earth, in the same building where human leaders had once decided to fight the aliens instead of surrendering. "We cannot make the same mistakes the Zarthak made," President Hayes said to the group of alien representatives. "We cannot rule through fear and violence." Morgan, the Meltar warrior who had fought alongside Colonel Carter, spoke up. "What do humans want from us? You saved us from slavery, but nothing is free. What is the price?" It was a fair question. Every species in the room had learned to be suspicious of those with power. The Zarthak had promised order and peace, then delivered only death and slavery. "We want to live in a galaxy where no one has to be afraid," President Hayes answered. "Where every species can grow and learn and explore the stars. We want to trade with you, learn from you, and work together. But we don't want to rule you." The alien representatives looked at each other with surprise. This was not what they had expected. Claire Watson, who had been Earth's ambassador to other human colonies, was chosen to lead the new Galactic Council. She was a patient woman who spoke 7 different languages and had spent her career helping different groups of people work together. "Our first law will be simple," Claire announced at the Council's first meeting. "No species may attack another species just because they are different or weaker. Every world has the right to make its own choices." The surviving Zarthak were given a small planet called Haven, where they could live peacefully under human protection. They were not allowed to have military weapons, but they could farm, study, and raise their children. Many humans thought this was too kind, but Jake Morrison insisted it was the right thing to do. "If we kill them all, we become like them," he said. "We show the galaxy that humans keep their promises and treat even their enemies fairly." War Prime Kethvar lived his final years in a simple house on Haven, tending a small garden. Sometimes human visitors would come to ask him questions about the old empire. He would always tell them the same thing. "We thought being strong meant making others weak. We were wrong about everything." The galaxy began to heal. Species that had been enslaved for hundreds of years started to rebuild their worlds. The Meltar created beautiful underwater cities. The Vekatari grew crystal gardens that could be seen from space. Dozens of other species began to flower and grow in ways they never could have under Zarthak rule. Human technology spread throughout the galaxy, but so did alien knowledge. Human farmers learned new ways to grow food from the Zarthak's former slaves. Human artists learned new forms of music and painting. Human scientists discovered new ways to travel between stars. Dr. Nathan Cole, now much older and with completely white hair, worked with alien scientists to build a great museum on Earth. It contained artifacts from all 17 species that the Zarthak had destroyed, as well as displays showing what the galaxy was like before the aliens had started their conquests. "Why do you think the Zarthak became so evil?" asked Helen Park, who was now Dr. Cole's partner in running the museum. Nathan looked at a display showing Zarthak art from before they became conquerors. The old pieces showed beauty and creativity, very different from the military designs of their empire period. I think they forgot that being strong doesn't mean you have to make everyone else weak. They forgot that the best way to be safe is to make friends, not enemies. 50 years after the end of the HFY War, Ambassador Claire Watson gave a speech to the Galactic Council on the anniversary of the final battle. She was an old woman now, with silver hair and a face marked by decades of hard work building the new galaxy. Today we remember not just our victory, but what we learned from it, she said to representatives from over 100 different worlds. The Zarthak called themselves Alpha because they thought might made right. They believed that the strong should rule the weak. They were wrong. Behind her was a wall with the names of every world the Zarthak had destroyed, along with pictures of the beings who had once lived there. It was a reminder that the price of freedom was eternal vigilance against those who would take it away. True strength comes not from the power to destroy, but from the wisdom to protect. The galaxy belongs to all who call it home. We are not Alpha because no one species should be Alpha. We are partners, and together we are stronger than any empire. In schools across the galaxy, children of dozens of different species learned about the HFY War. They learned how an empire that seemed invincible was brought down by the creativity, adaptability, and stubbornness of one species that refused to give up. The Zarthak Empire became a lesson taught to young people everywhere, that no matter how advanced your technology, no matter how big your army, you will eventually fall if you believe that strength means making others weak. And in the deep archives of the Galactic Council, kept safe for future generations, was the final message that humanity had sent to the Zarthak before their empire fell. You called yourselves Alpha, but you forgot that even the strongest predator can be brought down by the pack. We are humanity and we never hunt alone.